Welcome to Before Now podcast. My name is Bliss Akinyemi, but I prefer that you call me Missy. Missy spelled Mici and pronounced Missy. That's right. If you need a pen, grab one. Missy. That's how you pronounce Missy. First of all, I have to say that I am super duper excited because season 1 of Before Now podcast is gradually coming to an end. Really, I think this is where I'm supposed to insert some sort of motivational quote. If you believe it, you can do it. I don't know what that was about, but trust me, I am super excited that we've come this far. Yes, let me just put it that way. If this is your first time listening to the Before Now podcast is a weekly talk show where my guest and I discuss different subjects of life in relation to how we used to see them versus how we see them now. For y'all BNP fam, of course, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for coming back time after time to listen to what I have to say. You guys are the ones keeping me in business. It is because of you that I am motivated to keep going and all of that. As you can already tell from the title of today's episode, this is another interesting conversation that is loading. And I have already said, only amazing people are allowed on this pod. My guest for today is Iyanuoluwa, the light bringer, radio host, lover of poetry and books, and what else do you say you love?
etc.
You love etc. Okay, she loves etc. 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 Iyanu, welcome on the show.
Thank you. It's so finally good to be here, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long it's been a long time. I mean, Iyanu was one of the first set of people I shortlisted as guests for this show, and then
life happened. Exactly. Let's just leave it at that. Life happened.
Oh, here we are. Today, Iyanu, we are discussing looking younger than our age.
First of all, we bless the Lord for our lives.
Yeah, we do.
That some of us are going to look like this. We don't know for how long.
Yeah, but let's enjoy it while it lasts. So, in light of the conversation on Before Now podcast, we're going to talk about before versus now. I know you're wondering why this guy is talking about looking younger than their age, but really, have you seen us? Do you know what we look like? Do you know what I look like? Do you know what Iyanu looks like? I think we are in the best position to talk about looking younger than our age. Leave the likes of Kid Enshaw and Richard Mofedamijo. Just
I know, right?
Leave those people out of it. For now, let's talk about us looking younger than our age. Iyanu, first off, would you like to tell us how old you actually are? And how old people think that you are?
So, as at April this year, I clocked 26.
Okay.
But funny enough, till date, a lot of people see me and they think between the age bracket of 16 and 20. Funny, I went for a friend's wedding in August, and the groomsman is a young guy of between 18 and 19, and this guy was hitting on me, and we started chatting, and I'm like, wait a minute, how old are you exactly?
Jesus.
And he said,
you went straight like that, how old are you?
I was already allowing me be all
that's like some Bobrisky vibes, so I be your mommy.
And he was like, oh yeah, I'm 18 plus. And because I already asked his uncle got married, and I was like, I'm okay, new, which means he's a young boy. So I asked him, so how old are you? He said 18. I said, wait, so how old did you think I was? He said, yeah, 20, 21. I said, my dear.
And he doesn't have any issue eating on somebody older.
He does not even know. He said he thought I was 20, 21.
Hey, now, if he's 18 and he's eating on a 20, 21.
I mean. So I now told him that guy, my younger brother, is nearing his mid-20s. In fact, that was the last time that boy ever spoke to me. Next thing I heard after that was, good evening, ma.
Hey.
I hope you're good, ma. I was like,
okay, I don't necessarily like that transition. Okay, personally, I have a lot of young people around me. My circle is filled of young and getting it. I mean,
young and getting it,
people that are young. But I am 27, and a lot of people think 22, 23.
Yeah, that was my first impression, to be honest.
This is a quite recent event that happened. I was the one hitting on this guy because I felt like age brackets, no, we are in the same age brackets now, what's going on? And this guy was giving off a lot of attitude. And then when we eventually got talking and we got closer, we already felt like, okay, this would not work. But out of the blues, he just randomly said, how old are you? And I'm like, oh, you celebrated your 28th birthday some months ago. Yes, I'm just 27. And I was like,
my guy's going to freeze.
No way. I mean, I've been ignoring you all along because I thought you were a child, I'm 23 years old.
Coming from somebody who's just 20.
He's 28.
I think 28. I thought you said 20.
No, 28. 28, 27. It was quite ridiculous because all of the attitude, all of the ghosting and zoning and all of that was because he felt I was just 22, 23.
Even if you
I've
were.
suffered.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry. I know that feeling, sorry.
Let's take you to before now, because this is something that happened not too long ago. Before now, was there ever any incident that happened to you and you were like, me in my lifetime? What? Me, like, you don't know who I am, like that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
What was it?
A whole lot of it has happened. I think one of such was when I was in school, if I'm not mistaken. I finished from University of Ibadan, and I left my hostel. I went to someone's hostel, and I was trying to sign in, and one of the porters was like, "Hey, you, where's your ID card?" And then before I could pull out the ID card, another one came out, and someone was giving me some sort of attitude of, "Are you even sure this one is not in 100 level?" I think I was already in 300 level or thereabout. It just says, "I'm 100 level." I looked at the person, and I showed that one the ID card. The other one that was attending to me now looked at the ID card, now gave me back. She was shocked. I could see the shock on her face. She took the ID card, and then she looked at me, and she was like, "Oh," and then she now left. The other one now looked at her like, "Kilo Shelle." She now went, "Oh, that girl is actually in 300 level." Didn't say, maybe Kiniko. When I was now coming back, that was how the other one that was giving me attitude now called me and said, "Hey, so my colleague said she took your ID card, and I wanted to ask, how old are you?" And I looked at her and I told her, so she thought I was 16, 15. So I just looked at her like, when she now said 16, 17, I was like, "I'm 20. I'll be 21 next year." She was like, "Has anybody ever told you look younger?" And I'm like, it's my experience. I live it every day. There's even one that is perfect. I was in 100 level, and I had this uncle, he's a blessed memory now, the late Bolagunte, and I was at his house for the holidays, and as to strike, he sent me on an errand, and there's this community grammar school in that area, and there were some kids in the school. They stood by the window. I think there was no teacher in the class at the moment. I was hearing, "Ace, fine girl, Ace." Hello, now.
Oh my god.
And I looked back, because I was even wearing shorts, and my natural hair can be this very untidy even after brushing and combing and all. So I was looking like one really tiny human, and then it was those women whose shops were close by that know me. They were the ones now telling them that, do you guys realize that this person you're talking to is already in the university?
She's your mommy.
Exactly. So those guys were like, really? It was the next day, they now saw me with my uncle. They saw me with my elder brother, and they saw me with, I think, one of the guys that we stay around. And they saw the way those guys were relating with me. Like, they weren't relating with me like they were talking to their younger sister. They were practically relating with me like they were talking to their mates. It made them feel like, okay. So since then, the respect sort of like picked after that incident. So,
you know, another thing that's happened to me that made me feel like, me, like, I have this friend, Best. You know Best.
Of course I know Best.
Best say I go come out your teeth. The thing that's
I go just come out your teeth, man.
You get, like, I've been in that situation where I'll just be like, I go come out your teeth, because you look at me from head to toe and you're talking to me like this. What actually happened then was, I went to see the person I was dating at the time. It was some years ago. I think I was about maybe 23 or 24, and this boyfriend walked me up to the park and kissed me at the park, and I got into the cab and I sat in the front seat beside
let me just sing this song. They are gonna drag you from here till eternity.
So, you know, I got into the front seat beside the cab driver, and there were 3 Ibadan Yoruba women in the back seat.
It had to be those 3 people.
It had to be them. And then we started moving, and the cab driver started saying some things about his son just getting admission to uni. I'm like, okay, like, none of my business, I'm not interested. And he kept going on, and next thing he said, in Yoruba, I'm going to translate. Wow. That is to say, do you already know what you would be studying when you're ready to go to school? Oh, god damn it. You know, I looked at him and I did not answer. So
I feel like you need a hug right now.
You know, he kept on going on and on and on and talking about how his son would be leaving home for the first time and going to 100 level, and was scared about the kind of things that his son would do, because apparently he felt like the person that was kissing me at the road was also a young boy that was no longer under his parents and all of that. So he kept saying all those things, and the next thing it was like, I should face my studies. I should please do it for the parents that are laboring, and you know the way Yoruba can be, like, that are laboring over me. And in my head I was like,
you'll be fuming and seething.
So I let him continue, and at some point he saw my attitude and was like, but he was funny. That is, you've gained admission, because he was beginning to feel like maybe what he was saying was not sitting well with me. I just looked at him. I've said it done this before, I'm not done with school, but as at that point I just needed to prove a point to that man. I just went motivator, and he was like,
Oh yeah.
When I
can
told him,
relate.
when I told him I was done with school, it was like, you'll be preparing for service like that. I said I was done with that one too. He was just like, and then it shocked me and went, I feel so any
Of course it is.
And that is to say, that's your fiance. That was your fiance.
And then the whole thing changes, and then they become kinder,
and they started talking,
sweeter.
and they were praying for the marriage that has not even happened. And I was like, okay. So what is one thing that has pissed you off the most about how people treat you because you look younger than your age?
Okay, so it's not just about people generally. It will shock you that it comes from people you do not expect, people closer. For example, workplace. Ironically, I work in a radio station. I'm not quite sure, but I happen to be like the youngest age-wise. We have 29-year-olds, 30-year-olds, married and unmarried people. And one time I got into some sort of misunderstanding with one of my bosses, and the first statement he made, because out of anger, he went, "You're stupid." And I calmly told him, I didn't even know where that calmness came from, and I calmly told him, please do not tell me I am stupid. First, this is an office environment. Secondly, we are colleagues before you're my boss. You're not even the highest. I didn't add all that, but then I just had to let him know that you are my boss. Yeah. And then he said, I'm not your mate. And then I told him, yes, you're not my mate, but let's be honest with ourselves. I am not a child either. I'm in my late 20s already. I'm not a child. Yes, you're married, and I know that here in Nigeria we respect people who are married,
regardless of whether they have sense or not. They are married, and their marital status is
automatically confers sense and respect to that person. So ironically, when he took the matter to the head of station, it almost became a full-blown, why would you even do that? And then I calmly told the head of station that, did he tell you what he said? He said no. I said, he said I was stupid. The man looked at him, was like, you shouldn't even have said that. That annoyed me so much that much later I had to sit down and ask myself, would this person have done this to this other person and this other person and this other person because of their age? I'm sure it wouldn't. Plus the fact that he kept hammering on, you're stupid, and he also kept hammering on, I am not your mate. That really pissed me off. And there are times when I really feel like slapping him, let's be honest. I know, but in case my boss is
come out your teeth mode.
I'm trying to behave myself right now. So there are days when that really, really gets me off. Like that incident, for example, and I'm like, if I were a guy or I looked older than my age, you wouldn't treat me like this. Because I think I know somebody at that same place of work who looks older, but she's not older. And I've seen the way this same person has treated that person, and I'm like, can you imagine? So me, because I have a small stature, so you automatically always feel that it's okay to disrespect me and get away with it. So yeah, it annoys me a lot.
Yeah, for me, I think that when people do stuff like that, it's just a way of them, I don't know, putting their insecurities out there in the world.
Oh, shocking story. This person is actually short.
Oh, okay.
So you would expect that, you're short, so you would know my struggle as a short and ageless person, so to speak. But that's what I call myself.
Did you just call yourself ageless?
Ageless.
You're more like a vampire. I think that's what you are. Like,
yes. Can you not cast me?
Well, you're a vampire. We all know that. So for real, I think
I'll age one day.
We know we all would age
but till
eventually.
then, people continue to call me vampire.
Till then, man. First of all, you shouldn't respect people just because you know how old they are.
Yeah.
You know how much they are worth. You know where they live. You know what sort of food they have for breakfast. Or you know the kind of
respect people regardless.
You should respect people regardless. I mean, it hurts me to see people just coming at you and wanting to respect you after insulting you just because they found out that you know with their mates. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, just be kind naturally to people. Be respectful to people because it's crazy.
Now, see, about that being kind and people having to do that afterwards, one of the things I've come to realize is that how you treat people, irrespective of what you know who they are, about them, I feel that if you treat people kindly, even though you don't know anything about them, it shows that naturally this is who you are.
Exactly.
So I tell people that this life so far, I've been able to separate the difference between being kind and being nice. Some people are nice when they know that, they are not sure. But some people, they are kind. Whether they are sure or not, they will naturally be kind. So I just hope that more people will get to that point where whether you're a 16-year-old working with me or for me, or whether you're a 30-something-year-old working with me or for me, I do not care. I am going to be kind to you because you are a human being first before I see your age or even your qualifications. It's as simple as that.
And I think I don't want to bring gender into the issue.
There's actually that too.
If you're petite and you're female,
that's another battle you almost never win.
That's like a struggle already. But I think some guys would have it quite, because I know some guys that have it tough for them too. I mean, they look way younger than their age, and then they have to deal with a lot of things and the hands of people. Before we proceed this conversation, conversation that we are gradually bringing to an end. I know
I feel like I won't like this thing she's about to do.
You were thinking I was not going to do
please,
it.
Put me on the handicap.
But this is the part where I gotta put you on the spot and have you unscrabble a word that I believe you're able to, even though I desperately hope that you would not be able to.
You're setting me up for failure.
I mean, I'm sipping evil right now. This is what I do. I enjoy doing this. And you do it on your show too.
You will know it doing.
Yeah, so...
I'm sure if my listeners are listening to this, they will be so proud of you. I'm so happy.
And that's why I wouldn't give you enough time to get it. In fact, I'm just going to spell out the word. And if you don't get it as I'm spelling it out, time up. That's all. So, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
The word is spelled N-A-H-T.
N-A-H-T?
Time up. I was never going to let you get that, even though you know it. Iyanu did not get the unscrabble in my own time. And I need y'all to go over to social media to
but I got it.
unscrabble the word, which is spelled N-A-H-T. Yes, I mean, to be honest, she said it after time up, but you people never hear that part. So go to social media, go unscrabble the word N-A-H-T. Now,
no, it was funny.
What?
I was expecting you to tell me elixir. I need to go and crown word for you.
You know, before I left the house, a part of me was like, Iyanu is a smart person. Iyanu would have studied the pattern of the words that you give the guest. And Iyanu by now would be ready for you. So just throw her off balance. Like, just
and
give her something that she's not going to see coming. And I'm glad that I hearkened to the voice of the spirit. So yes, now that I am done scamming you, after you try to scam me, let's just wrap this conversation up for real. So, people out there, I mean, before versus now, it's been almost the same thing. People have been doing it as it was, so it is, and it hasn't stopped, and I don't think it is going to stop anytime.
I don't think so.
I mean, I know a friend of mine who got married, was it 2019 or 2020? I don't know. I'm not sure which of the years. But I know that sometime this year, he made a post about going to the bank and not being attended to because he was claiming to be married, and the attendant kept saying he was just trying to buy his way through the crowd or something.
Wow.
I think his WhatsApp status was like, does this attendant need me to go and bring my wedding certificate
I
or
think
something?
that's
Like, because, and it's funny because he just turned 33 like some days ago. He's September, yes, he just turned 33, and it's so crazy because he's so tiny, like almost my size and all of that. So when I was saying that guys also have it tough, you know, it's actually a real thing. So please, people, be kinder to people around you, not just because you know who they are, not because you know what they are worth, not because you know where they work or who they dine with. Just be kind to people. I mean, as we're wrapping up this season, I think that is one message that we all can take away from this. Please be kind to people. You know, on Facebook, we read all sort of posts. I think there's one I still really remember of a lady who was on her way to a defense or something, and somebody bumped into her and was trying to help her pick up her papers. He yelled at him and just kept on venting and transferring aggression and all of that.
She was tensed.
Of course she was. It was understandable. But she insulted the person down to his height.
Oh my goodness.
And it was like, yeah, this shot's good for nothing, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
And then she got into a defense. And the person that was going to stand in for her supervisor was the shot person. She didn't even do anything. The shot good for nothing person. Wow. And she didn't even bother. She just went on her knees like, oh my God. So please, let us not wait till we are in situations like that. Just be kind, like 2-4-7. Let it be in your blood. Let it be a character that you live out every day. Because really, Yorubas will say, Ashonla, Koniyonla. It's not a big cloth that makes a big man. I mean,
direct translation.
Well, that's how it will be easy to understand. I mean, it's not the clothes that makes the man, really. So it's not what you're wearing. We've had a lot of people living fake life and doing beyond their power. People with 0 coins in their accounts, looking like a bag of dollars.
I know, right?
You know, so respect everybody equally. Whether you know that they are faking it or they are not faking it, just accord everybody with respect. Because really, how does it feel like to first of all insult me and then find out that I am not a small person, and then you want to come back and say, ma'am, sorry, pardon? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So please, going forward, as you head into the weekend, please try to be kinder to somebody today. If you have stories about what your statue has put you through, please send them in. BeforeNowPodcast@gmail.com would be willing to listen to your stories about what it means or what it has cost you to look younger than your age. Iyanu, thanks for coming on the show. I was just about to say how was the show, but
actually,
I have to say this. I am excited that Iyanu despite practicing and planning and preparing to come beat me on this show, was thrown off balance because I'm the boss.
This is the part where I say I'm not gonna lie. She had me in the first staff.
Yes, I had her in the first quarter.
Oh baby, the go.
Oh my god. So yeah, I know that if you listen down to this point, it was because you had a reason. So thank you for sticking by. Thank you for listening. Watch out for the 13th episode of the season next week. It's going to be very, very interesting, I promise, because you trust me to never ever disappoint. Oh my god. Thank you for sticking with us once again. Go follow the pod on social media. It's at BeforeNow Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Iyanu, how did they find you?
I am on Instagram. You can find me at THE_EIYARRA. That is D-Ayara. While on Twitter, you can find me at DE_LYTBRINGA. Also the light bringer, which is the meaning of Ayara, by the way.
What language is Ayara?
Oh, Ayara is ancient Old Tamil. That's an Indian language.
Okay. I mean, I call it Ayara.
You even try. Don't even murder it for me.
So yeah, Facebook is at Blissa Kiyami and on Instagram at Missy Blissy. Missy Blissy as always is spelled MICIBLISSY. Till the next episode, ask yourself, what happened before now?